Hey guys, this is Rob from Infinite Combo here. I'm bringing you a quick video about the Destiny beta. So I'm going to do a small video series here about the three classes and all of their abilities, and this is going to, of course, could differ in the final game. We're not 100% sure on whether everything is finalized that they're listing here, because the amount of abilities and perks is definitely lower from Destiny 1. So we're going to look at the two different Titan subclasses in this video, as the Titan was my main in Destiny 1. I'm not 100% sure whether it will be my main in Destiny 2 as well. I did like playing the Defender Titan in raids and strikes, being kind of like the support player with Ward of Dawn. And the support role, while Ward of Dawn still exists, it's not the primary ability of the Titan anymore. And a lot of the support role, like healing your allies and increasing their attack, it seems to have moved over to the Warlock, but we'll cover that when I do the Warlock. So the Destiny 2 beta allows us to play as two subclasses. We don't know if there's going to be a third subclass. Apparently there was some evidence that there was a screenshot going around of the Sunbreaker Titan in Destiny 2, but we don't know if that's actually real or whether it was something else. So we're going to take a look at the two playable subclasses in the beta, which are the Striker, which is from Destiny 1, and the Sentinel, which is the new subclass for Destiny 2. So we'll start with the Striker, since it's what we're kind of familiar with. So, of course, the Striker's main ability is the Fist of Havoc. Supercharge your fists and slam the ground with the force of a maelstrom. So, of course, in Destiny 1, you kind of jump and slam the ground, and it creates this huge area of effect and damage around you. The primary difference between Destiny 1's Fist of Havoc and Destiny 2's Fist of Havoc is Destiny 1's was a one-shot attack. You only did the Fist of Havoc once, it used your whole super. This one, after your initial Fist of Havoc, which on Xbox is left bumper, right bumper, and I believe on PlayStation 2 would be R1 and R2, or R1 and L1, pushing them together. After your initial strike in Destiny 2, you can run around and do additional strikes until your super meter runs out. So it's kind of a roaming super. So then, of course, in Destiny 1, you had two abilities, a grenade and a melee. So the grenades are pretty similar here for the Striker. We have the Flashbang Grenade, which is an explosive grenade that disorients enemies and damages. The Pulse Grenade, which periodically damages enemies inside its explosion radius. And, of course, the Lightning Grenade, which is a grenade that sticks to any surface and then emits bolts of lightning. And this is just as strong in this game as it was in Destiny 1, which was nice. Then the lift abilities, we have High Lift, which is jumping while airborne to activate lift and launch into the air with greater height, so it allows you to jump higher than normal. Strafe Lift, which allows you to have better directional control while you're in air. And Catapult Lift, which gives you a strong initial burst of momentum while you're jumping. I usually use the initial burst of momentum for PvP, and for PvE I usually do the high movement. So we went over grenades. Melees don't seem to have their own set abilities in this game. They seem to be bulked into these subclass trees, the top and the bottom ones here. But there is a third ability for holding the B button. So for the Titan, it makes a shield, and these two shields don't change regardless of the subclass. So there's the Towering Barricade, which you press and hold B to create a large barrier that can be used to reinforce a position with cover from enemy fire. And then there's a Rally Barricade, which is press and hold B to create a small barrier that allows you to peek over it while aiming down sights, and will instantly reload your equipped weapon when you take cover. So really, the Rally Barricade kind of creates a piece of cover in front of you that you immediately duck under. Think like Gears of War, for example. It's basically like making a piece of cover. It, of course, only has a certain amount of energy. It takes a certain amount of damage. It'll go away. But it'll allow you to protect yourself from damage while ducking, and in this case, it instantly reloads your weapon. The towering barricade creates a really big barricade that you can't shoot through. You have to kind of go to the side, but it creates a larger area of effect, and I guess it would be more useful. It actually probably would be more useful in PvE when dealing with like bosses with large weapons and rockets and stuff like that. A hidden ability of these barricades that the game doesn't tell you, though, is that if an enemy walks through the barricade, it deals them damage. So this sometimes can even be, like, if somebody's rushing you, it can be good to just create one of these things, because if they run through it, you're going to take them down, because they're going to take damage. So finally, we have these two trees here. It doesn't look like you can use the second tree, the bottom one on this. So the one that's active is the Code of the Earthshaker, which we have Aftershocks. So damaging enemies with Seismic Strike recharges your grenades. So Seismic Strike, I believe, is this one, which is while sprinting, activate this melee ability to slam shoulder first into your target and release an arc explosion on impact. This is basically shoulder charge from Destiny 1. It has been weakened in PvP. It is no longer a one-shot. Thank you, Bungie. Terminal Velocity. Fist of Havoc's ground slam attack leaves a damage-dealing field in its wake and deals more damage the longer it's in the air. And Magnitude. Gain an additional grenade charge. Increases the duration of the grenade's effects. And then the bottom tree that we don't get to use, we have Frontal Assault, which is strike an enemy with this melee ability to reload your weapon and increase your weapon stability. Trample, killing enemies with Fist of Havoc and extends its duration. Knockout, critically wounding an enemy or breaking their shield increases your melee range and damage. And Reversal, melee kills immediately trigger health regeneration. So this one seems to focus a little bit more on melees and Fist of Havoc, whereas this one focuses on grenades and that shoulder charge. So, all in all, that's a quick look at the Striker. Let's take a look at the Sentinel. So, the Sentinel's main ability is the Sentinel Shield. Press left bumper and right bumper, or R1 and L1 on PlayStation, to summon a Shield of Void Light, also known as Captain America. While Sentinel Shield is active, press right bumper to attack, hold left trigger to guard, and press left bumper to perform a shield throw. So like I said, these barriers don't change. These lifts, in the case of the Titan, did not change. Some of the other characters, though, they will change, the jump abilities. The grenades, of course, are a little different. So we still have the Magnetic Grenade, which is a grenade that attaches to enemies and explodes twice. Quick note on this, in PvP, the sticky grenade types, so this, the Flux Grenade, and I think there was another one, are no longer an instant kill at full health, which is amazing. Thank you again, Bungie. We have the Void Wall Grenade, which is a grenade that creates a horizontal wall of burning void light. This, of course, previously was a grenade of the Night Stalker Hunter, which is now the Sentinel, one of the Sentinel's grenades. And then we have the famous Suppressor Grenade, which prevents enemies from using abilities for a short time. This is an absolute obnoxiousness in PvP. The active tree that we can use is the Code of the Protector. So we have Defensive Strike, kill an enemy with this melee ability to create an overshield around you and nearby allies. So this is the same thing as the Defender Titan has in Destiny 1, where when you kill an enemy you get an overshield with your melee. Rallying Force, melee kills restore health for you and nearby allies. We have Turn the Tide, your overshield from Defensive Strike lasts longer and it increases melee damage and reload speed while it is active. And finally, Ward of Dawn. When your super energy is full, press and hold left bumper and right bumper, or R1 and R2, R1 and L1, to create a shielding dome to protect you and your allies. So Ward of Dawn is the original super for the Defender Titan from Destiny 1. So while this is active, and I've heard some people complain that they had issues with the super for this class, if you press and hold the super buttons, you will use Ward of Dawn. If you just tap them real quick, you will get the Sentinel shield. I haven't had an issue with accidentally using Ward of Dawn, because you just have to make sure that if you want to use Ward of Dawn, you hold the buttons, and if you want to use the shield, you just tap them. And then finally, the tree that we can't use, we have In the Trenches, which kills while surrounded by enemies, reduce the cooldown of your super. You have Superior Arsenal, which is grenade kills, recharge your grenade energy. We have Shield Bash. After sprinting for a short time, use this melee ability to unleash a devastating Shield Bash that disorients enemies. And then Second Shield, which will gain you an additional shield throw charge while Sentinel Shield is activated. So the bottom tree is definitely more, so it's called Code of the Aggressor. So this is definitely more an offensive build. Probably will be better for PvP, because it's going to increase your sustainability and ability to kill enemies. Whereas Code of the Protector looks like it will more than likely be the go-to PvE mode, because killing enemies with your melee will be able to restore health to you and nearby allies, plus giving yourself an overshield. Oh, and the overshield will go to your nearby allies as well, increasing your melee damage and reload speeds, and of course being able to use the Ward of Dawn. So that's it, Guardians. Destiny 2 beta has been fun, and this is just a relatively quick look at the Titan. Join me for my next video where I will take a look at the Warlock. And until next time, stay infinite.